repair the tip on this Spyderco PM2 Tonto. We got a pretty bad chip there at the tip. So let's get this thing. What steel is this even? Is it S35? Nope, S30B. Should sharpen up easy enough. Let's get some more water before people start to arrive. Alright, that'll do. Beautiful water. Alright, let's get this thing. Real knife. Okay, don't need that. Okay. Dum-dum. Gotta split it. Alright. Oh. Yeah, that'll do. About an eighth of an inch or so from the edge. Okay. Some more room. Okay. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. How's it going, Orgies Anarchy? This tightened up, and then we'll get this sharpened up. That'll work. I should really set up the computer so I can see the chat. Do that right now. You know what? This will work. We'll use my ham radio computer, which is a Surface. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll get this tip repaired and tune it up. All right, YouTube, so I can see the chat. YOUTUBE. Go. Oh boy. Everybody hear me okay? Oh, Christ. I'm not signed in, man. You know what? That's just not going to work. That is not going to work. We'll use a different computer. Just going to have to make do. Okay. There you can stay right there. That teetered off to the edge here. Alright, let's decide what we're going to start with. We're going to start with, let's start with CBN. We'll start off with 285 grit CBN. and then we will move from there. Oops. Well, we're not using a computer because one, the cord won't reach. And the second one is completely dead. So, oh well. Guess we're just going to look at the screen of my phone, and that we'll just have to do. All right. First thing we're going to do is determine the edge angle. To do that, we are going to marker the edge. Let's do both. And flip it. Good. We're markered. Oh, wow. It is way too steep. Okay. So, okay. There we go. Now we're getting the edge. Beautiful. Awesome. Let's see what angle that is. Angle cube. Use the cheaper cut angle cube from the cheaper cut system. Zero it out. Okay. Zero out there. $17. 17.1 actually. All right. Now that we have the angle set, let's get started. Okay, check tip. Beautiful. Paper towel. Fresh roll. Good. All right, this is going to be a minute because we need to get that chip out, and it is pretty gnarly. So that's how you sharpen a Tanto edge like this. You're going to sharpen it like two separate knives. So you sharpen the straight and then sharpen the tip. So blade, tip. Burr. We're going to flip it. And we're just going to keep working our way back, stepping over until we get that chip out. Okay. Move that angle just a teeny tiny bit. Okay. There we go. Much more better. And we're just going to chase that chip back until we get it cleaned up. Carlos Fernandez, how the heck is it going? Por favor, press I have no idea what that word means, but I know what por favor means. You're asking for something, please. You would think that I would know more Spanish since I'm an amateur radio operator and speak to guys from all the Spanish speaking countries like all the time. Un abrazo, my friend. Alright, chase that chip. Alright, flip it. We're just going to keep chasing that chip until we get her out. This is one way that you can do that. The other way is you can just kind of go flat against with the edge. Like, let's find a stone. There you go. If you have a chip on this edge, you can kind of just go perpendicular to it, go until you get the chip out, and then resharpen it. I'm just going to chase it back. That way I don't remove any more steel than I need to. Just enough to get the chip out. Alright. That chip is gnarly. Wow. Let me actually recondition this stone real quick. It'll only take a couple seconds just to try and do this a little bit faster, which I am going to do that. And to do that, I will just use a Nagura stone and recondition the surface, bring some more fresh diamond to the surface. You just wet the stone like such, and we are going to recondition. Beautiful. We got a little slurry going there. All right, we're going to call that good. Set that Nagura stone up there to dry. You cannot put it away wet. I guess you could. You could set it aside wet, but you can't put it in the container that I keep it in wet because it will, weep off water. And then it'll get all misty inside. Okay. Soapy water. Okay. There we go. She's cutting now. Okay. Get that burr. Boy, that chip is so gnarly. Wow. What the heck did he do to you? Damn. Hey, Cody, how the heck are you doing today? We are showing how to get this gnarly chip out. I can't actually show it to the camera. Well, yeah, I guess I could. Let's just show it. Bring it up to the camera. Let's remove this. There we go. That nasty, super. Put something black underneath of it. Here we go. Well, that really sucks. There we go. Chip's nasty. Let's get it out of here. I gotta reset my stone compensator. Yeah. It's gonna take longer than I expected. Okay. I'm apexed back here on the straight, so I'm just gonna work the tip back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until I get it. No reason to remove any more life from this edge. We'll just take it off of here in order to get the chip out. Okay. Oh, you're dripping the black blood. I'll let you know you're removing material, that's for sure. You can see we're dripping the old black steel. Okay, chase this back. This is my buddy Mark's from work. This is his knife. He had it on pre-order for like a long time because these PM2 Tantos are uber rare, like rare as hen's teeth rare. I bet you this thing probably costs $400 or $500 on the secondary market, I would think, these days. Okay, look. Yeah, we're getting progress. It's not as fast as I wanted, but what are you gonna do? We are going to work more heavily at the tip so that we don't remove quite as much at this end because there's no reason to because it's only chipped up here. So we're going to kind of maybe move the angle just a little bit. Keep it straight, but just steepen up the angle a little bit so we take more material off of the tip as opposed to that secondary tip down here. Okay. Salvo Fox 2. Hello from Ireland. Can I ask you, make is your sharpening device? And is it the pro version? This here is the Zarilk XARILK sharpening system. It is their version 3, the Gen 3. You can get it off of Amazon. Runs about, if you get a Prime Day deal, you can get it as low as like $70 or so. But normally I think it's about 85 or so. Get the version that comes with the least number of stones, and then get some resin bonded stones. That is definitely my suggestion because they are far, far, far superior. I'm going to block off. I'm sitting here on. Okay. We're making progress now. I'd say that we are halfway done. And we are flipping back and forth because you do not want to um, make the edge bevel uneven. So take some material off this side, flip it off of the other side, so you're kind of working it back and forth until you go forward, until the chip gets smaller. And let's say you're like this and there's the chip. You're going to work back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you catch up to it. La-di-da. We almost got it. Awesome. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Okay, flip it. Flip the burr. We're so close. So very close. All right. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, I do have lower grits, but I don't have them in resin bond. That, and I didn't really want to hog off too much too fast. I think I do have I want to say I have a 180 grit back here. Yeah, there's a 180 back there, but this 285 it's fine. I didn't want to do it too fast because I don't want to take off literally any more steel than I need to because it does not belong to me. We are so close. So close, man. Chip is so small you can barely see it now. Slow up. It only take a few minutes after we got the chip out to run through the progression, because after you apex and like I'm doing, removing the chip, after that, all you're doing is covering up the previous scratch pattern of the previous stone. So close. Yep. A little bit more on this side. Yeah, I thought I'd be done already. After I'm done with this, I think I'm going to do a little more ham radio DXing. So I've been doing all weekend. There's been a station on the air in North Cook Islands. Echo 5-1 Mike Whiskey Alpha, E51 MWA. That's been the one I've been chasing all weekend. There are some other cool stations too. Martitius, Rodriguez Island, Nui. A lot in the South Pacific area. So it's so close. Jesus. You're getting there. Another cool thing I've been doing on the radio is FT8. I've been avoiding it because I didn't have a good way to hook any of my radios up to a computer. Since I use pretty old rig. I mean, it's a good old rig, but old just the same. I use a Yaesu 857D as my main rig. It's a 100-watt radio, but it's still good. And I have an ICOM IC718 as my backup. But there was no good real way to hook it up to a computer. And I got a Digi rig a while back and decided to hook her up this week. And it works a treat. actually kind of amazing what you can do with not a crap pile of power. So I do occasionally run 100 watts through it. It's, well, I got a nice little cooling mat that came right before I got on here. Change this angle just a teeny tiny bit. Move this just a teeny tiny bit. Good. Even this out. Good. Tighten it down. Good. I think we have officially gotten the entire chip. I believe so, anyway. Yep, I believe so. Alright, let's remove this burr. We'll minimize it as much as we can, and we will just double check and make sure that that is completely gone, the chip. Okay. Alright, we're going to go with that. Move on to the next stone. Go from the 285 grit CBN to the 650 grit diamond. Okay. A little more soap in there. Add water, but no more soap. Okay. Good. Okay. Sharpen that edge, and then we'll move to the other edge right here. And that is how you do Tonto blades. You sharpen them like two separate knives. All right. Flip the burr. Flip the burr. Okay. Good. Second blade, second edge here. Okay, I feel like we got the scratch pattern covered, so now we're just going to minimize the burr like we did on the other one. Okay, flip the burr. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. On to the next. So from the 650 grit, we go to the 1700 grit diamond. Oh, we need to use the stone compensator here, so we're going to loosen this here, and that's the stone compensator. We'll set it to this stone, tighten it back down, then we don't have to mess around changing the angle since the stones are different thicknesses. Cody, you can use it to send CW via your logging program and contest longer N1MM. Hey, now that I have a computer set up, I will have to get a logging software. I've been using Hammers, the mobile logging software for, Jesus, years, like 3 years or so. I've been using that program exclusively. But now I let the WSJTX log my stuff for me, and then I just export it at the end of the day and upload it to QRZ, and then use QRZ to upload it to Logbook of the World. My pro tip there, I hate the Logbook of the World software, so any way that I can get around it, I will, which I pay for a QRZ account so that I can let it upload to Logbook of the World for me. So I use the computer to generate a certificate and then put that on QRZ, and then it just does it. I upload it to QRZ and then use QRZ to export to Logbook of the World, and then I import those confirmations from Logbook of the World back into QRZ. Okay, let's just minimize this burr. Getting to a polished edge now, that's good. Okay, on to the last stone. We did a bad job of that. Boy, she was all loaded up with swarf. And the last stone is a 6 micron resin bonded diamond. This is a 3000 grit. You know, to give us a good polish, I'm gonna recondition this one real quick too, just so that it has a really nice polish on it when I give it back to Mark tomorrow morning. Because I've had this knife for, oh boy, probably, I don't know, 10 days now. And I've just not gotten around to throwing a fresh edge on it and getting those chips out. So I really wanted to get it done today. Okay, there we go. Nice, fresh, reconditioned surface. Use the stone compensator. Beautiful. That was a really cool picture you took, by the way, Cody. That was I didn't realize that you took astrophotography. But that's the thing about us amateur radio operator guys. We all have our hobbies, and it's never usually just one. My wife will tell you that one. So mine is amateur radio and amateur radio, knife collecting and sharpening, and lock sport, which is picking locks. So. Anybody's interested, I have a lot of that stuff in my inventory of videos. and I'm now monetized, which doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to say that I did it. So I have channel memberships and all that stuff now. For anybody who is ever interested in supporting this crazy shit that I do on the YouTubes. Alright, get a nice mirror polish on here. More. I like the stone, but it definitely loads up a little more than the, well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say it loads up more than the PDT Poltova stones, the ones from USA Market, but the finer the stone, the finer grit the diamond, the more it loads up. So that actually makes sense because this is much, much finer than my Poltova ones. I don't have any PDTs in the finer grits. I will eventually, but not right now. Okay. Alright. Let's just hit this with a strop a couple times and then see what we got. Ugh. God, I should have known better than to do that. You can't really rub paper towel to dry diamond stone because the paper towel gets wet, and then when you rub it on diamond, it just kind of busts off little pieces of paper towel and it gets all messed up. So you have to dab it dry. I knew better than that. All right, let's go with, what is this? I think this is a 0.5 micron. 0.5 micron on balsa. So compensator, good. All right. Okay, with it. Okay, let's see how we did. And it's either going to be good or it's not. I've never done one of Spyderco's Tantos before, so let's just see how we did. Get this guy out of here. All right, loosen, 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 loosen. Good. All right. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. That behind me. All right. We have something made of paper. Yeah, paper. Okay. All right. Check that. Are you shitting me? I feel like I need to hit that tip a little better. Well, this will teach you something that every once in a while you did something, you thought it was right, and it isn't. Guess what that means? Back to the drawing board. You need to hit that tip some more. Right, tape, good. All right, try this again. Dum dum. Shouldn't take more than a few minutes. We're gonna do this at light speed. Humboldt picker, how you doing? Had to tighten everything. Yeah, well, we there's two. Let me grab something I can magnify with. Oh, my loop, jeweler's loop. Yep, there are two tiny microchips left at the tip. Son of a bitch. Well, nothing to do but get to it. Okay, back to the first stone. 285. We are not going to mess with this edge. We're just going to do the tip. That's another thing about Tantos. Um, if you only need to sharpen one, since it's like sharpening two separate blades, you only need to sharpen one. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do this tip blade here. Flip. We're going to use our brain this time and actually look at the tip before we move on. That is my bad. Learn a lesson from me. Don't do that. Okay, let's start deburring this. All right. Okay. All right, let's take a peek at this again. I don't know if you're looking at the back of my head or not. Get light. Oh, crap. My light's in my bedroom. Oh well. Looks like we're doing this. Let's do. Haha. There's a little more light. Okay. Nope. Teeny tiny little chip left. Right near the tip. About a 16th of an inch from the end. Okay, flip it. What station was I trying to work today that I actually missed? Pretty bummed about it. Burkina Faso. It's in Africa, and I have no contacts into them. There are, for ham radio, we call it DX, long distance stations. DX for distance. Um, there are 340 current entities. That's including like the top 80 or what are called whitelisted, meaning there's nobody there that operates ham radio, kind of like North Korea, Bouvet, which is coming up actually. There's people going there to Bouvet. I have a contact into there from the last, they call it the expedition, like 2 years ago. 3Y0J, this year is going to be, this coming February is 3Y0K. Um, but there are like 340 known entities, of which I have 200 and I think with the hard copy cards that I have confirming, I think I'm at like 272, of which like 252 or something are um, confirmed electronically. Okay, let's check that. Well, that was like shit. I need to deburr that first. Brr. There's a bunch of fuzzies on it from the paper towel that I had wiped it off with. Okay, take a look. All right, I feel good about that. Yeah, I'll take it. Good. Move back through the progression. This should only take a couple minutes. I remember to use a stone compensator. Yes, I did. All right, soapy water. All right, go through this progression real fast. Should only take, oh god, probably not even a minute each stone, so we're close to being done. All right, deburr, minimize the burr. One pass. Burr, one pass. Okay, on to the next. 1700 grit, stone compensator. Okay, anything happen in the chat? What power scope do I use? I'm actually only using, it's a 30x, so a 30 times loop. Let's see something that you can actually see being magnified. Maybe. Looks pretty good. That's a bit of lettering. Looks pretty decent. Okay, start looking like a nice mirror polish here. Yes, it does. Okay, shouldn't be much of a burr. Last done. And compensator. Good. Okay. All right. We are so close to being done. Okay. We are going to call that. That doesn't work at all. I should have known better. All right. Let's hit stop real quick. Okay. Just a couple passes to make sure we got all the burr off. All right. Take us out of here. Moment of truth. See if we failed twice in a row. Well, that'd be funny as hell. God, that'd be awesome. I'd never live it down with my wife. We failed twice on the internet back to back. Okay, good. Okay. Sharpener. Oh, Jesus. Oh, glad that didn't break. Did not break, did not chip. Good. I'll call that a win. Okay. Okay. Back to the paper. All right, we're gonna real quick just strop it a teeny tiny bit right there. Boy, that is banana sharp. All right, let's see. Moment of truth. Does it cut a paper towel? It certainly does. Beautiful. Awesome. Let's real quick tune up the action on it because it is got bananas walk stick. See if you can hear. Just see a little tiny bit of blade play. Let's handle that right now. I don't think it's necessary to take it apart, but we'll put a little bit of lubrication and tune up the tightness of everything. Lubrication, good. Okay. A little bit there, a little bit there. Okay. That's better. The lock stick's pretty much cleared up. Okay, this is T8. Yes. Crap, I can't get to. Oh, damn it. Well, I don't want to mess with his pocket clip. He is a tip down guy, which most of us civilized people are tip up carry on all of our Spydercos and pretty much any other uh, makes and models too. But he's tip down, and we'll let that go. Jeez. No, we are going to do it. We're going to do it. Just to tune the action the best it can be. I'm going to remove the pocket clip for a minute. We'll put it back tip up. Or no, we'll put it back tip down. Because tip up is the Lord's carry, and apparently he isn't into that. There's the screw. Okay, 1, 2, 3 screws. Good. No blade play. Lock stick is gone. It is centered. Alright, so all I did was loosen up the body screws a little bit. Pushed it a little bit to the side. Tightened everything down. Or if I can get it to show up here on camera. There we go. Centered. No lock stick. Beautiful. Put the clip back in the devil's position, which is tip down. Just kidding, Mark. Not really, though. Right. That's what goes through my head when I'm sharpening these old 1950s show tunes. Big band. The trumpet. Funny stuff. Okay. Okay. Good. We have fall shut action. It is just banana sharp. My hair. Now we'll clean this. This is not my knife. Okay, clean with alcohol. Beautiful. The DLC coating a little beat up. So what we're going to do, I don't normally do this to most things, but since the DLC is beat up, I only do this with my satin knives. Just put a little bit of my special juice on it, which is beeswax and mineral oil. Beeswax and mineral oil, and then you just kind of melt it down until it's the consistency of like chapstickish. This will help protect the blade wherever the DLC has been removed. A little bit right here. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Oh, too sharp. Oh yeah, she's wicked. Oh well. Anyway, thank you. Anybody who stuck around and hung out with me. There are 11 of you. Fantastic. Ooh, new subscriber. I will take it. Ghost. Thank you so much. All I need to do is get some channel members. That would be really cool. Because then we'll have to come up with something that I like do for channel members. Like, well, actually, what would be really cool is to come on and like have like a live stream for just members, like where I help you out, talk you through some stuff, blah blah blah. Because I do have StreamYard and Restream where like more than one person can be on at a time. And this here, it's just my camera, like my telephone. So my telephone is just right here, like right underneath my face. Um, but you could live and we could do it together and teach you how to do stuff or freaking whatnot. I don't know. It'd be cool though. I haven't had to figure it out yet because I don't have any members. So whatever. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with me, and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And I will see you next time. Peace out. Bye bye.